So one of the things about a Rosen movement class is when students come into the class, I as a teacher have no idea what their body carries. So Rosen movement has been designed in a way that it's safe for everyone. We don't go into pain in Rosen, we stay this side of pain. So no one is trying to push for anything. We're just trying to move, keep the joints fluid, strengthen our body, have more flexibility, deepen our balance, and enjoy movement. And so all of these movements have been designed with safety in mind, which has been very important for me. And that's one of the reasons I am so keen on having the physical therapy movement understood so that we can honor that. The time when we're on the floor. And this is a time that's the more meditative time of the class. Usually the lights are very dimmed and people go deeper inside. So that's what we're going to do now. I suggest to people that they take their shoes off so that their feet have, freedom to move. And I'm now going to lay down. And knees, we hold our knees, we don't let them cave in. They're just, again, a little bit of tension between our knees so that we're steady on our pelvis. And our arms are by our sides. So we start, and you can do any variety, but I am going to start with pushing one foot into the floor and then the other. And pushing one foot into the floor and then the other. This is a bit the movement we do when we walk. And it's a nice little kind of rocking on the sacrum. My nose is slightly tilted towards my chest, my shoulders are down. And then coming to center. Now I'm going to lift both arms up towards the ceiling, have them shoulder width apart, palms facing each other, shoulders relaxed. And I'm going to walk them to the right and up, and walk them to the left and up, feeling as though my shirt is coming out of my pants. And this is a lengthening of the spine. And one more time on each side. And coming to center, again, paying attention that my nose doesn't start coming up and my chin comes up. Now letting my hands float to the back, making sure my lower back stays on the floor. If my lower back comes off the floor, I stop where I am and I float them back up. Again, this is movement, and we're lengthening the spine and the neck. Good, and one last time. This time I'm going to leave my arms down. I'm going to inhale, feeling my chest expand. And exhale, ribs come down. And I feel that intra-abdominal pressure increasing, which is our big stabilizer. Arms come back up. And I'm going to walk them to the right, and walk them to the left, and walk them to the right. Just that lengthening, that decompression of the spine. As we get older, that spine compresses. And then going to the back, elbows stay fairly firm. And then back up. And then down. And then back up. Good. And arms come down into a V or a T. If I have my thumbs on the floor, it opens my chest more, which is nice. Now I'm going to bring my right knee outside of my right hip, my right foot higher than my right knee, and I am going to just pulse back and forth, staying very stable on my spine. And this is a deep movement in the hip. And then bringing that foot down, taking a breather, and then the other side. Left knee comes outside of the hip. The foot is midline, i.e. kind of where the sit bones are. It's up there. And the foot slightly higher than the knee. Shoulders down, nose slightly tilted. Staying stable on my spine. I am going back and forth, back and forth. It's not a very big movement. but it's working, being stable and deep in the hip joint. And then coming down and taking a breather. And now we're going to bring our right knee up so it's outside of our right hip, and our left knee up so it's outside of our left hip. We're stable on our spine. We bring our hands to our knees, fingers pointing towards the feet that are slightly flexed. Chin down, shoulders, chin back, shoulders down. And in this position, just lift your knees towards the ceiling, and you'll feel your pelvis come off the floor a little bit and release. We're working with the core muscles here. And again, lift and release. And this time when we lift, we're going to let our feet come all the way up towards the ceiling so they're parallel towards the ceiling, shins perpendicular to the floor, elbows on the inside of the knees, hands on the outside, and you can have them here, you can have them here, wherever you can feel comfortable, as long as your shoulders stay on the floor. I'm able to do this only because I've been doing it for a while. My nose is slightly tilted, and I'm just letting my knees ease towards my chest. It's a deep stretch of the hips, going back to the baby position when we were 3 months old or 6 months old. This is the position we were in. So we're recalling our genetic patterning here, which is really a very deep form of meditation for the body and a form of alignment. And so you're relaxing, you're not doing anything except letting your hips sink into their sockets. And then releasing your feet, bringing your hands towards the ceiling, shoulder width apart. Bring your knees above your hips, and then one foot to the floor, and then the other. And release. So in this position, we're laying on our side, and we're bringing our top knee to the floor in front of us, and the bottom knee, the bottom leg is just comfortable. The right arm comes in front of us, and the thing about this movement is that the right knee has to stay glued to the floor so that our pelvis is stable as we rotate the thoracic spine, which is one of the functions of the thoracic spine. And I'm trying to keep my chin and belly button in alignment while tracking the arm with my eyes and then coming back. So I'm not going to go as far with my head as I could because I want to keep a certain alignment here. And I'm going to do that one more time. And I'm keeping my jaw relaxed 'cause this is working a lot with this part of the body, the neck. And then we come back, and then we turn around on the other side and do the same thing. The trick with this movement is to really keep this knee glued to the ground. So our pelvis and our hips are very stable while the thoracic spine rotates. So now we're on all fours, and here my hands are under my shoulders. My knees are slightly wider than my hips. My weight is a little bit on the inside of my hips. My weight is evenly distributed on my wrist. There's a little space under my knuckles. My elbows are pointing forward. And I shrug my shoulders and I unshrug them. So my chest is way away from the ground and my chin is back. In this position, keeping my arms straight, I'm pushing my hands towards 10 and 2 o'clock and sitting into my hips. Keeping those arms straight. And now I'm pushing my knees towards 4 and 8 o'clock. Feel how my hips are working here. I am not leading with my chin. My back is straight. If I want an extra stretch of the wrists, I go a little bit forward, but careful because this is a big stretch. And again, sitting back 10 and 2 o'clock with my hands in front, chin pressed back, sitting into my hips. And then pushing my knees towards 4 and 8 o'clock, my hips kick in for sure, and they propel me forward. And then I come back to all fours. So one of the ways that I like to end the part of the Rosen movement class that's on the floor is with this little type of touching meditation. So I start with, let's draw little circles on our forehead. And this is just coming into that sense of touch that Marion brought to us, little circles. And then down the neck and behind the clavicles. And then I'm really following the path of the meridians, sweeping down the torso, sides of the legs and out, and up the inside of the legs and up and behind the clavicles. With the right hand down the inside of the left arm and out, and up the outside behind the clavicles. Left hand down the inside of the right arm and out, and up the outside and behind the clavicles. Tap, tap, tap. Now I'm working with the immune system a little bit. Over the eyebrows, over the lips, under the lips, at the clavicles, under the armpits, in the inguinals, sides of your legs, sides of your shins, and rubbing your hands together and gently placing them over your eyes with a sigh. And then taking the back of your hands and sweeping your forehead with a sigh. And really let that sigh out. This is the Rosen method, just letting the body express the and we end with the back of the hands from the lips up to the ears with a gleeful sigh. Ah! And then again,